All right, so we are going to start about charge distribution. And in fact, we are talking about continuous charge distribution. Continuous charge distribution. So actually, charge may be distributed in two ways. In discrete ways, it means one of the charge may be here, it might be here, it might be here, it might be here, it might be. This kind of distribution of charge is known as what? Discrete charge distribution. And one of the another way is to distribute the charge, continuous charge distribution. It means if this is a line or a surface or a volume, then at each and every point, at every unit area, length or volume, in what aspect, whatever we are taking, if we are taking about line, then on unit length. If we'll be considering the complete area, then on unit area. And if we'll be considering the volume, then in unit volume. If the charge would be distributed equally at each and every unit length, area or volume, then such charge distribution is considered or known as what? Continuous charge distribution. So for example, let's suppose this is the length, then at its each and every length, for example, let's suppose I have taken the 10 centimeter line. So on each centimeter, if equal number of charge is being distributed, for example, let's suppose it doesn't matter that only 1 coulomb charge must be distributed. I am saying equal charge should be distributed on unit length, unit area, unit volume. So 1 centimeter should contain equal amount of charge. Every 1 centimeter length should contain equal amount of charge. For example, if 1 centimeter of charge would be considering 2 coulomb, then each centimeter should be containing how much coulomb of charge? 2 coulomb, 2 coulomb, 2 coulomb. So we can say 10 centimeter would be containing how much of charge? 20 coulomb of charge. And vice versa. If I'll say 10 centimeter length is containing continuous charge distribution of 20 coulomb, it means that each length, each 1 centimeter would be considering how much of charge? 2 coulomb. Got it? Similarly, if I'll say this is, for example, let's suppose I'm taking this is a plane area, 2D figure. You can say rectangular or a square shape, whatever you want. And if I have divided it into equal areas, each area is of 1 meter square. Let's suppose each area is of 1 meter square area. So this area is also 1 meter square. This box is also 1 meter square, 1 meter square. So you can consider how many areas are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total area is 25 meter square. So this figure is containing the total area is 25 meter square. So if I'll say that 1 meter square is containing, let's suppose 10 coulomb of charge. 10 coulomb of charge. And if I'm talking about continuous charge distribution, it means if somebody is saying that charge has been distributed in this 25 meter square area continuously in such a way that each 1 meter square is containing 10 coulomb, that means the total area should possess how much coulomb? 250 coulomb. Because this is 10 coulomb, 10 coulomb, 10 coulomb, 10 coulomb, 10 coulomb, right? So how many boxes are there? 25. So 25 into 10, 250 coulomb. So vice versa, we can also say if 25 meter square area is containing, if 25 meter square area is containing 250 coulomb of charge, then each meter square or unit area is containing how much coulomb of charge? 10 coulomb of charge. In that way. Got it? So this is called the continuous charge distribution. And in the similar manner, if I will be considering about the unit volume, so you can say this is the unit volume again. So if all these things would be considered in that way, 1 meter is cube, 1 meter cube, each meter cube is containing 10 coulomb, right? So in that way, the whole area, if this area is, let's suppose you can say 30 meter cube, then each would be, then total volume should be considering how much coulomb? 300 coulomb. So each meter cube is containing 10 coulomb. 30 meter cube should be containing how much coulomb? 300 coulomb, or vice versa. This is called the continuous charge distribution. It means at each unit length, area, or volume, charge should be distributed in uniform manner, right? Okay. So this was the continuous charge distribution meaning and concept. Now mathematically, how we will be representing them, and based on that given figure, we know that we could be given any one of the figure or all three figure together, means either lengthwise, area wise, or volume wise. So we would be having three types of continuous charge distribution. These are known as, first, linear charge distribution, or you can say from volume, we will be going from volume. So volume charge distribution, volume charge distribution. Second, surface charge distribution or aerial charge distribution. And third one is linear charge distribution. Linear charge distribution. Getting this? So it means based on the given figure, what kind of the figure has been given. It is a linear figure, it is a plane figure, that means area, we have given area, or we have given volume. Based on that, we can distribute the charge continuously in three manners: volume charge distribution, surface charge distribution, or are being considered continuously. Based on this, since the charge has been distributed either on the length or on the area or in the volume, based on that, there is three types of charge density. So since charge is being distributed in a particular type of figure, that's why we got another physical term or physical quantity known as charge density. Now, learn the concept of density. Density, by default, whenever the term is talked about density, it is mass density. So density means, how to learn density concept. Density means if something is written before the word, before the term density, then the formula of this will become the given quantity, whatever quantity is written before that, by default it is divided by volume if nothing has been specified, right? And if nothing has been written here, then we consider by default as mass. So for example, I'm writing mass density. So mass density means, here this question mark is mass. So mass density means mass, and nothing has been specified that mass is being distributed linearly, surface wise, area wise, or volume wise. Then by default we consider volume wise the mass has been distributed. So mass density formula will become mass upon volume. And since I told you, if nothing has been written, no word is written, no term is written before the word density, it means by default it is mass. That's why general formula from the sense your childhood you are learning, that is mass upon volume. This is the formula which you learn from your childhood. Mass upon volume, mass upon volume, mass upon volume. Actual term is mass density. Similarly, if I'll be asking energy density, then the formula should be term energy upon density. Similarly, if I'll be talking about force density, or or whatever quantity is density, right? And pressure density. It means pressure per in, sorry, this is energy, not energy upon density, energy upon volume. Pressure upon volume, right? Similarly, if you learn the concept, then what should be the formula of the charge density? Should be charge density formula would be charge upon volume. So if nothing has been specified properly and only the term has been given before density, then the given physical quantity or term divided by volume. Now, specifically, if I'll be talking about linear density, some term, some any term like mass density, pressure density, energy density, so that term. And then I have written, instead of just writing density, if I have mentioned linear density. Then since here we have specified density means, first learn the concept density. Density means a particular type of quantity contained in the given shaped figure. How closely, how tightly the given terminology, given term, given physical quantity has been distributed, has been tightly pegged, have been closely pegged in the given area, volume, or length. That is the meaning of density. Density means how closely the things are being pegged in a given particular shape. Since the particular shape is of three types: linear, surface, that means area, and volume. Based on that, we have the three types of density: linear density, areal density or surface density, and volume density. So density could also be three types: linear density, area or surface density. So based on besides word area, we prefer surface density and volume density. Now before this word, whatever quantity is being pegged, it should be mentioned. For example, mass, if we are talking about a mass has been distributed in a particular shaped figure, then this beside this question mark, I will be substituting what term? Mass. So mass linear density or linear mass density, you can say in that way, right? So linear mass density, you can pronounce it in that way, or mass linear density in that way. In both way, whenever specifically if we have mentioned the figure, that means we have given the particular shape figure is linear, then besides dividing volume, what you would be dividing? For linear density, you will be dividing it length. Whatever quantity is written before the word density, you will be dividing it by length. It means the given physical quantity has been distributed lengthwise. Similarly, any physical quantity is being distributed area wise or surface wise, that means what? You need to divide it by area. So in formula, we write the term surface density, but we divide it by area. Both words are similar, area and surface, right? So question mark means the physical quantity, or I'll be substituting the PQ, physical quantity. So physical quantity, linear density means physical quantity is distributed per unit length. Physical quantity, surface density means physical quantity has been distributed per unit area, means each unit area is considering how much times or how much number of physical quantity is known as its surface density. Similarly, volume density, physical quantity, volume density means how much physical quantity has been distributed in per unit volume. That is called volume density of that physical quantity. Got it? Okay. Now let's move further. Charge energy density. If I'll be talking about by default energy density is written, nothing has been mentioned. Linear surface volume, you would be dividing it by volume. But if it has been mentioned surface energy density or energy surface density in whatever manner, or volume energy density or energy volume density, in that way, let's suppose linear energy density, I'll be writing linear energy density, although that doesn't make any sense, but mathematically how we would be writing linear energy density means energy upon length, right? In that way. Similarly, charge density could be of three types: volume charge density, volume charge distribution give you which kind of density? Volume charge density. and volume charge density has the symbol rho. What is the symbol for volume charge density? Rho, right? This is the symbol rho. And since you have learned this concept, it means what should be the formula? Rho is equals to volume charge density. Charge density, it means charge upon, by which terminology, which figure you need to divide? Clearly mention volume, so you'll be dividing it by volume. So if capital Q charge has been distributed in capital V volume, then you'll be writing what? Q by V. Let's suppose if dq charge has been distributed in a small dv volume, then what you can be writing? Dq upon dv. It means whatever charge is distributed in whatever manner, if it is continuous, it should be equal. For example, let's suppose total charge was 100 coulomb, 100 coulomb, and it was being distributed in 10 meter cube. So can you tell me what should be the volume charge density? It should be Q by V, 100 upon 10, 10, and unit should be coulomb per meter cube. It means I'll be saying 100 coulomb charge has been distributed in how much volume? 10 meter cube. So it means each 1 meter cube is containing how much charge? 10 coulomb. So if I'll be asking how much volume or how much charge is being distributed in 2 meter cube. So if 1 meter cube is containing 10 coulomb, then 2 meter cube is containing how much? 2 meter cube should be containing how much coulomb? 20 coulomb. But again, if you will be dividing both of them, answer should be always 10. That's why capital Q upon capital V means total charge upon total volume. It should also be equal to whatever is smallest charge upon smallest volume, because what kind of charge distribution we are considering? Continuous, equal amount of charge distribution per unit length, volume or area. Getting this? So this is the volume charge density, rho. Similarly, let's make the formula for surface charge distribution. Surface charge distribution gives us which kind of charge density? Surface charge density. And surface charge density is represented by the symbol sigma. This is the second type of charge density. This is first volume charge density, then second surface charge density, and the symbol is sigma, and the formula will become simple formula. Now you have learned the concept, all the concept. Charge density means charge upon something, and what is something? Surface. So surface means area. So surface charge density means charge upon area, right? Surface charge density means charge upon area. And what I should write? If total charge capital Q is being distributed in total area A, then its surface charge density should be Q by A. In similar manner, if this area is capital A and total charge, whatever charge is being distributed, dq, overall charge is Q. So Q by A is the surface charge density. If each area is possessing dq charge in dA area, then what I will be writing? dq upon dA. Sometimes in some textbooks besides A, they prefer S, surface S. So it might be written in that way as well, Q by S or dq by ds. So don't get confused, right? So this is also the surface charge density, and clearly the SI unit of surface charge density should be Q upon A, coulomb per meter square. Volume charge density, SI unit should be coulomb per meter cube. Getting this? And final, we are having linear charge density, linear charge distribution. It will give us which charge density? Third type, linear charge density. Linear charge density. Symbol is, what is the symbol? Linear charge density. symbol is lambda, right? This symbol is also being used for wavelength, right? But based on in what topic we are going to study, based on that, the symbols are being decided. So lambda here, the lambda is working for linear charge density. And charge density means charge upon whatever shape, charge upon length. So lambda formula will become, what would be the formula for linear charge density? Charge per unit length. So charge upon length. So if total charge Q is being distributed in capital L length or small l length, Q by L, total charge upon total length. Or if dq charge is distributed in dl length, so dq by dl. This is the formula. And what should be the SI unit? Coulomb per meter. So by considering the SI unit, you can also get the, you can acknowledge what kind of charge distribution is given to us. In some numerical, if it has been mentioned that the charge is being distributed 10 coulomb per meter, then you should know that this is given linear charge density. So you need to apply the formula for lambda. If in the question it has been mentioned that 25 coulomb per meter square charge is distributed, it means what kind of distribution has been given? Surface charge distribution. It means what kind of density we need to consider? Surface charge density. So by considering the SI unit terminologies, you should get to know that what kind of distribution is given to us or what kind of charge density is being mentioned in the given numerical. So that's the concept. So we got all these data. So I'm going to sum up all these things, right? We are having three types of the charge distribution: volume charge distribution, surface charge distribution, linear charge distribution. Based on that, there are three types of charge densities: linear charge density, surface charge density, and volume charge density. Volume charge density has been mentioned by the symbol rho. Rho is having the formula. Charge density means charge upon something. What is something? Whatever being mentioned. Volume means divided by volume. Linear charge density means divided by length. Surface charge density means divided by area. So volume charge density means charge upon volume. Linear charge density means charge upon length. Surface charge density means charge upon area. Done. Volume charge distribution, volume charge density. What is the SI unit? Coulomb per meter cube. For linear charge density, what is the SI unit? Coulomb per meter. And for surface charge density, unit is coulomb per meter square. Right? Now you can easily find out the dimension formula. Clearly, since this charge distribution is made up of which kind of quantities? Scalar quantities only: volume, charge, length, right? In that way. So generally, charge densities are considered as scalar quantities, right? So I guess all of you have understood whatever I have mentioned here. So how many of you understood it properly? All right, next we are going to talk about calculation of the force on a charge due to continuous charge distribution. So let's suppose I'm directly considering by default volume charge distribution, continuous charge distribution. I'm just showing you one of the example by considering the charge has been distributed in volume wise, right? So let's suppose some random, or you can consider area wise as well, depending on whatever manner you like. If you want, you can consider it as area, surface. So let's suppose, let's consider surface charge distribution. Afterwards, you may consider it as a volume charge distribution, then linear charge distribution. Let's suppose total charge is being distributed in this surface, inside the surface or on the surface. Total charge, whatever charge is being mentioned, Q total is Q. This is the Q, right? And total surface area is S. Total area of the surface, S or A, whatever you like. Because in some books or textbooks, generally S they prefer, and sometimes A is being written as well. So whatever you like, you may take it. So total area of this surface is A. Total charge which is being distributed in this or on this area is Q, capital Q. Now let's suppose you need to find, since it is containing the total charge Q, all over it. Because of this, you need to consider how much force is being exerted on this charge Q naught. So this is our topic, calculation of the force on a charge. So which charge we are talking about? Q naught due to capital Q. But how we will consider it? Either somebody can say, sir, very simple. F is equals to K Q naught upon R square. Okay. By applying which law? Coulomb's law. Somebody may say it. Okay. If we will consider this formula, then we have to focus on certain things. Formula for force symbol is F, correct. Equals to sign, correct. K 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, correct. Capital Q, one of the charge, okay, correct. If you are considering total charge. Another charge which is being experiencing the force Q naught, Q1, Q2, both are correct. Upon R, what is the R? From where you are taken? So you'll say, sir, center. So, okay. If I'll be taking this kind of figure, then what kind of center you may choose? So we don't know what is the exact center. So in that way, which distance you will take it? This one, this one, this one, because all distances would be different now. If this is R, then this cannot be R. Then this cannot be R, or if this is R, this cannot be R, this cannot be R. And charges is being distributed at each and everywhere. Then somebody will say, sir, you told us that you will take the individual forces by each and every charge. So divide this charge. So how to divide? Sir, Q1, Q2, Q3. Then if you are assuming Q1, Q2, Q3, then what is Q1? I don't know. And finally, how I will replace it? Even like this, these things I don't know. So what is the concept we can use here? So what concept we are going to use for finding the total force, this kind of format, how we can find it? So for this, what we are going to do? Yes, we will be dividing the whole charge into smallest charge, but in that way, so that each charge would be similar. For this, I have divided the whole area into equal unit areas. If you'll see carefully, then I'll be dividing it in such a way that each will be having what? 1 meter square, 1 meter square, 1 meter square area. In that way, whatever figure I have taken, it is containing 1 meter square area in such a way. So this is for mathematical reason, just for mathematical. The logic behind this, it means we have to distribute the whole surface in equal amount of surface charge areas. So I'm considering each area is of ds. Each area is of ds. So if you divide it in such a way that each distribution is considered as ds area, ds unit area, whatever. If you will say, sir, this is smaller, so you can take in that way. Total area should be same, ds, right? Whether it's a triangular shape, rectangular shape, doesn't matter. Shape doesn't matter. Total area should be same. If 10 meter square, how it comes by triangular figure, by rectangular figure, doesn't matter. I want 10 meter square of each and every shaped area. It means equal distribution I have taken. And each distribution is containing small dq charges. It means each ds area is containing how much charge? Dq charge. So among this, let's suppose I have considered one of the charge dq. This dq which is being distributed, this dq charge has been distributed in how much area? ds area is being considered. Let's suppose this dq is having the distance from q naught is r. Then what should be the force between these two quantities? So now we can consider it. So if r is the distance between dq and q naught, then the force exerted on Q naught by a small charge will also be small. So this force I have considered as dF. dF is the charge which is being distributed, which is the force exerted on the Q naught. So by applying Coulomb's law, K Q1 dq, Q2 Q naught, and distance between them R square. It means in such a way, if I'll be considering all the df, 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 and by adding them, then I'll get the total force. This is the concept of superposition as well as the charge distribution or integration. So if I have to add all the forces, what symbol I can consider? Integration sign. Why integration sign? Because the distribution is continuous. So whenever something we need to add them, and if the addition is continuous, then we, instead of taking the sign sigma, we can take the sign integration. So it is being integrated df, and what's the value df? K dq q naught upon r square. Now what is constant here? K is constant, q naught is fixed, but dq and r will be different. dq cannot be taken outside because based on this we have to integrate. So k will be outside, q naught will be outside, 1 upon r square dq. This is the force. Now by replacing dq and r, we can find out the total force. And how to find dq? By using the concept of charge density, which I'll give you in the next class. Right? How many of you understood till now?